Namaste, Soul Tribe family. Welcome back my way on this divinely guided day. Hopefully, you guys are well and you are getting ready to get some rest as this is Friday, family. Okay. A lot of spiritual cleansing going on, I feel. All right. Side note, side messages. Somebody needs to bake their bacon. Okay. I don't know if that means like you're trying to cook it on top of this stove and it's popping on you. Maybe you used to could be able to cook it that way. It's not working for you like that anymore. All right. So start baking your bacon. Okay, putting it in some sort of glass pot or pan, or a glass pan or not, and just baking it. Okay, side message there. All right. Y'all, I channeled this message earlier during my meditation. Okay, during my spiritual bath. I like to meditate when I'm in the bath. Okay. So I didn't know how to deliver this message because how it came down, it was just kind of like, what? It just kind of just I want to say it didn't resonate. Okay. So Spirit told me to say it like this. This is like a movie, family. The villain versus the so-called good guy. Okay. And here's what I was channeled. Okay, the first thing I heard was the black sheep of the elite have a story that's never been told. Okay, that's what I heard. And I'm like, oh, and they have a story of some sort of oppression that took place on every level and trickled its way down. I.e., that example, the shit rolls downhill. Quick disclosure, I do cuss and curse and speak the truth and call out names when guided too. Hopefully, you can vibe like that. And if you can, allow me to be the first to welcome you. And to all of you who are new to the Soul Tribe family, all the in 1111 energy, welcome. Allow me to be the first to welcome you. And for those of you who are new and you have recently subscribed, I am grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you so much. And welcome to all the in 1111 energy. And to my Soul Tribe family as a whole, my A1s who are my day ones, I love you and the divine loves you. Thank you for all that you do for our space. I am grateful for your likes, your shares, your subscribes, hitting your notification bell, tapping into the messages. I am grateful for those of you who have joined the family through a monthly contribution, which joining there's a monthly contribution. Subscribing costs nothing. I am grateful. Okay. Thank you so much for all that you do. So, y'all, what I heard was something about the black sheep of the elite. They too have gone through some sort of oppression. Okay. And it does trickle downhill. Okay. So the shit does roll downhill. Their ancestors, okay, their ancestral roots and lineage also should have been being protected as well. Something about that ancestral lineage being tied to you. Now, here's where it got crazy. I heard two sides to every coin, even digital coins. Okay. However, that message resonates. Then I heard good and bad, the mobsters, gangsters, hustlers. Okay. In every industry were the black sheep of the elite. I was like, what? Listen, I guess, y'all, this is the way I interpreted that was every industry had a black sheep of the elite. The black sheep of the elite also are wealthy. Okay. They accumulated most, what did I say? They accumulated the most over these decades and were supposed to be set free from some sort of superficial contract that was made with the so-called holy men, the ones of greed, the ones who really followed some sinister shit. Okay. You are the guardian for the powers that be, or you are the guidance and the guardian for the powers that be, and you have claimed, no, you have charmed the serpent. Damn. Yeah. I guess you charmed the serpent. And last message is they were used to do the so-called good ones' dirty deeds. Wow. In turn for their own benefit, but something awakened them as well through your awakening. Ooh, that was a lot. That was a lot, family. Okay, that was a lot. So basically, this is the energy I'm getting. I feel like the black sheep of the elite are some of the wealthy as well, and they were used. They were used to do the dirty deeds. And something about them reclaiming their throne. Okay. Mm, reclaiming their throne. Okay. Let me see. I don't know if these people, because here's the what I was feeling, right? I was wondering, like, why would this billionaire be watching y'all, right? Like, why? Why? But I feel it's because you uncovered the black sheep of the elite's dirty deeds, like what part they played in this matrix within this game. Because that's what everybody had it. The shit rolls downhill. It starts at the top, comes downhill. Family, we're huh? We're not billionaires, we're not millionaires yet. I saw in the comments, some of y'all got money. Ashe. Okay, fact. All right. But at that same token, many don't. So let's just tap into this energy and see, what this whole message was about. Because when I was in the tub and I was like, what? Something like it wasn't just y'all. And I said, what do you mean it's not just us? And it was like they too were used because they did the what did I say? The hustling, the mobsters, the gangster work. Okay. Hustler, mobster, gangster work. And I was like, really? And I feel like they were used by the same corrupt people that were, gang stalking and doing y'all dirty, family. Okay. These were some of these people now. They were used to do the shit. And we're being cut out. We're being cut out on something. Okay. I did a reading a while back pertaining to, like, they bet on you. Like whoever had counted you out, they couldn't count. Yeah. The black sheep of the elite, I feel like they bet on you and found out that they were being cheated in the game because these people were definitely exploiting you and sabotaging. I'm telling you, exploitation right here. Yes, they were exploiting you for your resources, your connection skills, and knowledge, as well as exploiting the black sheep of the elite. And these are the gangsters, the mobsters, the hustlers, and they actually are some billionaires. Holy shit, smokes. Mm, damn. Okay, so let's tap into this energy. Damn, that's crazy. Oh, I don't even know, man. It's deep, y'all. Let's see. Okay. Mm, interesting. All right, Divine, thank you so much for allowing us to be here. First and foremost, we are grateful. I am speaking to the divine, the God within and all around us and all living things, the divine creator of all living things. Ashe, and thank you. Please keep us protected during this read, all reads, and all the time. I ask that you provide us with clear and concise messages as well as clarity, guidance, intuition, wisdom, and discernment. Any negativity, any toxicity, any evil, any witchcraft being thrown or projected at myself or the Soul Tribe family, I ask that you shield our minds, bodies, souls, and vessels from it as we too shield our minds, bodies, souls, and vessels from it, clearing it, canceling it, and releasing it back to the universe. Ashe, and thank you. Okay, y'all. So I feel like that's why something is happening, okay, pertaining to what is being exploited now. Okay, people are I feel like there was a huge contract, okay, that I feel there was some null and void in it. Yep. Period. They decided to run away, leave this contract. It was like, it wasn't even that they were running away. I feel like the energies around them that exploited them are running away. Oh, why did I hear? Yeah. They got taken over. Family. They got taken over. hmm Because they were exploiting the black sheep of the elite as well. Something about them doing the dirty deeds of these government local officials and them being labeled as mobsters, gangsters, and, hustlers. Hold on. Damn. And that was the role that they played here in this matrix. But they were often double crossed. Where is my thank you? They were often double crossed. And many times when this corrupt contract that they were in, and I feel like it was a contract tied to hundreds of years, something that dated back to zoot suits or some shit like that, whatever a zoot suit is, zoot suit. I think it is an old school gang or something like that, but something dated back to the zoot suits. Hold on, hold on. These people are running away. Hold up, y'all. Why did I just see? Look, ooh, somebody was trying to cover up. They was trying to cover up basically the grave that they built or the burial that they gave themselves. Look, somebody got in the bed uh under a lot of false pretenses. It's almost like making a bet, right? With the whoever's running all the money or something like that. And there is an agreement, okay? Because the agreement was to keep the chaos going, keep the destruction going, keep everything because when there's a lot going on, there's a lot of distractions, yada yada yada, okay? People aren't paying attention to things. They're most likely 9 times out of 10 into the gossip. So it was like the left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing, and vice versa. The right hand didn't know what the left hand was doing. They came up with a bunch of different secret types of groups. And these groups were held um, hmm, on the opposite side of the fence. For example, they may all be wealthy, but you've got your dark sheep, the dark sheep of the elite, as well as the elite who's supposed to be the goody two shoot. Okay. I feel like there was some sort of partnership here where there was like, these conservatives couldn't get their hands dirty. So they went to the mobsters, gangsters, and hustlers to do their dirty work for them. A lot of them also were within every industry within all these branches, from the private sector to the government sector. And this is the untold story. And when the government got mad at the black sheep of their elite and they went against the government for some reason, the government did unethical things through other groups, possibly contracted other groups out to retaliate or, you know what I'm saying, snitch on them, like all the John Gotti shit and all that shit. It was because somebody in the government, look, had everything to do with legal proceedings at the bottom of the day. It was because somebody in the government didn't get their fucking way. So when they can exploit somebody for resources and connections and steal things from them pertaining to possibly inside knowledge and stuff like that, they threw their ass in legal proceedings. Damn. hmm And then lied on them. Damn. Because they knew what was hanging over their head were different types of unalivings. And these were the ones that the government set them up to do. God damn, that's a cold piece of fucking work. Let me see if I could, yeah, so y'all could, here, we just gonna rock it like that. So you can see, damn. So basically, if they couldn't get exploited, wow, this is it. And wait, the biggest exploitate. I just picked up Harify Energy, those with the traditional beliefs that date back. before Christ, after Christ, all those types of years when they were really pushing religion. Yeah, and this was an affair, okay? And this was a business affair. Masculine and feminine energies alike were involved in this affair. This stems back for generations, roots to come. Okay, their legacy and their dynasties as well. Mm. Everybody had their position within this matrix, to include the black sheep of the elite. Many are running away from this affair because it's turned on them. Okay. And they could be trying to cover it up, trying to bury some stuff. Not, yeah, they were trying, yeah. I feel like this is like strong feminine energies here. Okay. I'm not going to even mention no names, but one show did pop up in my head. This feminine energies, strong feminine energies are trying to bury some shit. Damn. They're trying to bury the affairs that they were in. I'm picking up this energy is shared between the running away from these affairs, and these affairs just aren't just about, romance at all. But many of them are. Okay, they were having affairs as well as because these were women that wanted power. There's a lot of feminine energy involved, masculine energy involved as well. Hmm. These is like some gangster ass feminine masculine energies. Okay. But they were also part of, yeah, fraud. Look at that shit there. Yeah. These are the feminine energies, y'all. You've been looking at. You would have never guessed this bitch had a background. Excuse me. Quick disclosure. I do cuss and curse and speak the truth and call out names on God too. This is the kind of bitch you would have never expected her background to be as of such of what it is. And look how dark all the cards look. Damn. Very dark energy. Mm. Tell me more. Yeah, I'm telling you, it was all about mind control. The black sheep of the elite feel like they was getting played too, to a certain extent, until they woke up. It was like you woke up and you woke up the masses on both the light and the dark side family. I will forever say that. I feel like you're a very powerful energy. Okay, there we go. Because it's kind of gloomy outside, but still. I be having to have my stuff lit up. Okay, there we go. Let me see if I do this, family. Okay, cool. But yeah, it's very dark. That's you see, I got to put the light on that. Mm-mm. Could be gloomy too where you are right now. Yeah, because that's this energy. Because I feel like there's a lot of hurt. Okay, at this point in time, because let me tell you, believe it or not, in the awakening of very dark energies, such as, they've been painted out, right? Like Lucifer, the devil was painted out to be the dark angel, okay? The angel of toxicity. These mobsters, gangsters, hustlers, energy were painted out to be the same way. Hmm. No one would have ever believed them, and they were put up something about that's why they were always put up in the media as being the bad guy when actually truthfully and realistically it was the people that had hired them to be the bad guys to keep the chaos going, and they were able to benefit over all these centuries and years because they were able to make a lot of money doing it. They were being paid to keep up the chaos and the drama in neighborhoods. Mhm. Within communities. Shut up. Wow. I can't make it up. It was inside. It was inside. Mm. I'm telling you, female, male energies, okay? But it came out on the fence. So you see, I'm taking it on the fence. Now, let me tell you what this means to me on the fence. This is their awakening. Mhm. Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, just look at the billionaire list everywhere. How many are feminine energies. I could say Mackenzie shit, and now Jeff Bezos' new chick, but I don't know a lot of feminine billionaires. Hmm. Pelosi, I think she's just a millionaire. They were going to be billionaires had they stayed where they was at. Right now, there's a war going on between the government and they hit men that they hired to fuck with you, family. A lot of these masculine billionaires are awakening. Yeah, I can't make it up. They was tied to a cult, and they're awakening now. Spirit said, "Put it here." Yeah, this is the cult, and they're trying to cover up. They were getting ready to try to cover up some stuff. I feel like they were like, "Nah, let it all come out. Let it all come out." The real role that we was here to play from a distance, family. Okay, they was playing this role from a distance. This was their role. Keep everything in a chaotic manner, uncertain manner, or just that's that energy, right? Something got blocked this term around. Was not blocked. I didn't even have to say it. Some sort of meeting. Okay, what meeting got blocked? Mm. A meeting about somebody's abuse and neglect. They could have been about ready to flip the script on something. There was a meeting that was blocked pertaining to abuse and neglect. This meeting that got blocked, really, what was, I can say the outcome? Ah, it was hidden. This was the meeting that was being held in those private rooms within the Kipper. hmm Somebody was in those meetings, though. Interesting. And you may have picked up on them conducting meetings and having meetings, and somebody, like I said, that billionaire that's been watching you was wondering how in the hell you knew about the meetings and what they were discussing behind closed doors. Because you was at a distance and they were having these meetings about the abuse and the neglect that they were hiding from the people, that they were hiding from the masses. This abuse and neglect also was impacting these masculine energies that operate out of their shadow side, period. Mhm. They were doing things that these uppity, politicians didn't want to be seen doing. They were doing the dirty deeds of politicians. Some of these billionaires feel like they're cursed now for that. I don't know. Let's see. Why is this caregiver here? Why is this caregiver here? You may have been in the industry of a caregiver. Oh, yeah. Okay. I feel you. Okay. Tell me more. Yeah. People were being thrown away. It was like something pertaining to a code of honor. Okay. When it comes to Mother Gaia, trashing Mother Gaia out was a no-no. And coming up against the elderly or something like that. Somebody here, you hit home for them on the destruction of the planet and coming up against elderly and children. I'm feeling here because this is like a child pushing somebody here, maybe to be, that's just the energy I'm getting from there right now. And that's a code, I think, amongst them, women, children, and something like that. Shit, hell, I'll have to go watch Scarface again. That That's a classic. I'll give a damn. I would have to go watch Scarface. Oh yes. Side note. Oh yes, yes. Crimes of Passion. Look, I'm telling you, they was doing crimes of passion for other people because they were doing crimes for politicians to stay in their positions that they were in. Crimes of passion dealing with, people be passionate about their status and where they sit and they want to keep it. Hmm. Also, family, something about, oh yeah, where's that side note? Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. Look, message from them. Something about your thoughts being tied to their thoughts, the thoughts of the black sheep of the elite who are and have been on a journey of an awakening and coming to terms with where they have contributed to where millions are today. Now they are willing to listen to you all through your divinely guided messages or being a divinely guided messenger. Thank you, Spirit, for reminding me of that. Okay. So that could be a message to the community. If you're a reader or something, it's time for you to start picking up on their energy or something like that because there's a lot that needs to be said, especially when it comes to this drugs. They have a lot to be said about that. Okay, because they know they fucked up. They know they fucked up. Okay, they know they were tied to some toxicity. Okay. hmm Many of them are tired of the drama. And the tantric sex or smex, excuse me, and the promises, okay? The promises of the promiscuous energies they've been dealing with, okay? Sleeping around, okay? Temptress energy, okay? The free for alls, all right? The still your man type energy, they're tired of that. Mm-mm. And I feel like a lot of these energies don't want to hear that. Okay. They don't want to hear that. Okay. Because that means they're getting cut off. There's a lot of energy that's getting ready to be cut off, and it's this promiscuous energy. Yes. And people want to set the record straight. Okay. Pertaining to it. Yeah. Somebody could have been given fake apologies. Okay. I'm picking up somebody currently right now is giving fake apologies, right? But they know they played a huge part in this destruction. Shattered, broken, completely ruined. They know that they played a huge part in this destruction. I'm picking up, like, ooh, I ain't going political, but y'all could go on and put the shoe where it fits. But you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people out here wanting the help, but it's like, wait a minute, what was really cracking off? I feel like these people were never, the black sheep of the elite were never going to be set free. That's why the debt kept climbing was to keep them tied to something. Yeah, keep them tied to them so that they couldn't start the new beginnings they were promised to be able to start. They were expecting to be able to start some sort of new beginning. Yeah, in private partnerships. Ooh, look at spirit over here. In private partnerships that that was based on emotional intelligence for this new technical launch here or something like that, and they saw that they weren't going to be going in that direction. They could have been promised that by a certain amount of time, a certain year, we're going that the area of focus was going to be on a new beginning, focusing on private relationships and emotional intelligence. The emotional intelligence aspect of it drives the artificial intelligence that is going to be required to move into this new technical era. They saw where they were getting ready to be gypped up out of that and be stuck with another 4 year term, something like that. Not going political, but this is what's coming down. That angered these people, these gangsters, these hustlers, these mobsters. Damn. Mm. What? Okay. That was crazy. Yeah, I cannot make it up. I cannot make it up. They saw the money. hmm And how some sort of natural disaster was being set up. hmm hmm To dismantle something that was supposed to have been underway. Something about projects being behind. Something about year over year, lap over laps of a contract or contracts not being fulfilled. Oh shit, that's crazy. That's too much. I had to open the window. That made me hot. Yeah, see, they was regretting it. Now they was regret. See, look, I feel like there was a lot of shit that was set up because it was done that way to keep everybody held down, to include the black sheep of the elite. hmm To keep them in this tunnel with this tunnel vision. Oh wait, why here tunnel vision? Look, they were looked at as being stupid because they had earned their money superficially. They're billionaires. They didn't have to work for a damn thing. Yeah, they may have come up with a concept, but they weren't the team that put it together. They just had the idea. The smarts behind it put it together. The smarts behind it wrote the contract. They had them on some road of tunnel vision where they weren't seeing things from a broader perspective. Mm. Somebody was like, yeah, this is a some sort of action movie. Okay. Total drama. They got caught. I can't make it up. I'm gonna tell you right now, and I'm not saying that this billionaire is not intelligent or these billionaires are not intelligent, but what I am saying is that their ideas were actually really put into fruition and implemented by some real super intelligent minds. Okay. All they had to do was pay for the work to be done. They did not have to actually partake in it. They just came up with the ideas behind it. That's how they gained their money. Okay. Then they started getting in bed with the government, and that's where things went bad because the government started imposing taxes and things. But then when they were imposing the taxes, part of the contract was that for these so-called innovators, these billionaires that come up with all these ideas, it was really them getting the ideas from you because the shit does roll downhill. The shit rolls downhill, family. So you were fulfilling their fantasies by providing their by providing your ideas, whether they were spoken to friends over the phone, everything was being recorded and implemented if a good idea, which then would easily cut you out and continue the ones that were rich to continue to keep getting rich. Things started falling apart and falling into pieces. While many of you sat back and watched because you already knew the tea. Many are now burning the evidence of anything possibly being tied to you, or they were burning evidence, or they were trying to get rid of evidence of anything being possibly tied to you as being the co-creator or the co-founder of an idea. Now all that's under investigation. And that's why this billionaire is watching you because I feel like they love you or something. Once again, I keep feeling that like they have a love for you. I don't want to say, I don't know why I almost said this billionaire is a family member. Fuck. But you might have a billionaire family member and don't know about it. Take that how it resonates. Mhm. Let's see what else I get from this deck. Wow. Yeah. Now they're healing. This current investigation, the wrongs that are being made right is allowing somebody to heal. They could even possibly be traveling as well. Let's see what comes from this deck, y'all. You may not be in touch with someone, but they may be traveling. Okay. They may be living freer. Let's see. Yeah, this was all fated to happen here. Yep, the Wheel of Fortune karma. hmm Cycles, divine intervention, hmm and divine detours. Yeah, this was all fated to happen. The truth was eventually going to come out about the relationships between everybody within the matrix. Don't you think for 1 minute that the mobsters, the gangsters, and the hustlers did not have some sort of governmental politician, city, statewide connect? Mm. And they too were punished if, because of the laws and the things that were set forth by the crooked government they were working for, to include all of the, individuals out there who were false prophets pushing their religion, not saying nothing against it, but the Bible speaks of false prophets pushing their religion for that money card that came out. Where'd it go? Y'all seen the money? Yeah, for the money. hmm They too were punished. This is the untold story of the black sheep of the elite. They too were punished. That's why everything's getting turned on its side. Yeah. And see, a lot of people would have doubted their story. And that left them in a lonely position where they could only congregate with each other because they all knew that their stories were definitely true. They just didn't know that the story that they were experiencing, you were experiencing too, because they looked at it as you were getting what made you happy, when in actuality, you were never happy with just the bare minimum and going through bullshit just to survive. Who would have been? See, they only had each other because they didn't feel that this knowledge would have been believed. That's crazy. That's funny. I mean, it's not funny, but I mean, yeah, now that you think about it, they're human too, right? So they don't have anybody but each other to talk to about, oh my God, we signed this contract with these motherfuckers. They're never gonna let us go, man. We still in this shit. We still gotta keep this bullshit going, this chaos, this mayhem, this toxic energy tied to the devil. Yeah, they was ready to step into North Node energy. I ain't lying. That was their destiny the whole time. That was the fate. That's where the evolution kicked in. Yeah, they found their life path, okay, through karmic challenges and rewards. I cannot make it up. That is exactly what it says. They found their fate, okay? Their fate with this Wheel of Fortune coming out, their fate, an evolution, okay? Finding their life's path through karmic challenges and rewards. Did I not say they were getting paid to keep the chaos going, to keep the drugs circulating, and all that kind of crazy shit? That was their job in the Matrix. Hmm. Yep, Jupiter. Wow, that's crazy. Jupiter action. Yeah. Something about this expansion of the growth. Okay. Pursuing passion, adventure, and new opportunities and new fortune. Yeah, it feels to me like they were like, okay, they got enough to get in there and make things do what it do. Yeah, Mars energy, that warrior energy, that. But that warrior energy, yeah, I cannot make it up. They said, okay, they got in there to make the decisions. Yeah. There was no contemplation here because they already knew what they were up against and what they've been sitting in between. This was between two evils, okay, on the same path. Somebody had to stay, and it was time for them to go. I can't make it up. Decisions, contemplations, two evils on the same path. Mm. Whoa. Yeah. And somebody decided to practice self-care. And they were of a low vibing energy. And I feel like they were depleted over all this time doing the same thing, round and round and round and round. It was time for them to recharge from this mind control. Yeah, period. Step into their freedom because they were being puppeteered too. They were governed under some very corrupt laws. hmm And it was like every time they turned around, there was a new law coming out or something like that. They couldn't get up from under these people either. It was like everybody had a bad deal signed. You, family, them, everybody. hmm Period. Everybody was bound to toxicity through addictions, through patterns, through energy vampire actions. Okay, trauma bonding. Everybody was stuck. Everybody was stuck. Okay. Yeah. There are no more illusions. Y'all see how that swung around? There are no more illusions or confusions. Okay. It says not seeing clearly, but of course you are. Okay. Escapism. Nah, they ain't escaping that shit. Not at all. Okay. The addictions. Yeah. No, you didn't have any addiction. And were you fantasizing about this shit that was happening? Hell no, you wasn't. You knew something wasn't right with the money. Something was funny with the money. And that was their biggest fear was that the illusions would be revealed, that the veils would be lifted, that the limitations, the anxiety, the comfort zone, the overthinking negative outlook energy that they were projecting out, they were in fear that someday, one day, that would be seen through. And the black sheep of the elite knew it. And in order to bring out something, you got to take over something. Hmm. Baby, and that's karma. That's where balance comes in. Ha! That was karma. Yeah. Weighing things out, cause and effect, choices. hmm They wanted to make things right, especially when they saw that they weren't being given what they were promised. There was something that was promised. This was a deal that has been going on for so damn long. Why you think Trump backed up all the way to Alien Enemy Act 17 something? Because that's when a fucking deal started with this type of energy. That's when they signed the contract with the devil to keep chaos and mayhem and toxicity going because that's how people profit. That's how they was profiting. The motherfuckers balled off of COVID. Shit, balled off of COVID and at the bottom of the deck. Trust the divine, okay? Trust divine timing. I'm telling you. It says, yep, greater forces are at play. Release control. All is working out for the highest good. I'm telling you. Shit. I don't know what man thought they was more powerful than God, but God will wake a nation to get the job done. And that's exactly what happened. And that is the untold story of the black sheep of the elite. See, we look at them as being the bad guy. Motherfuckers did this, did that. No, they were hired to do that. They were hired to keep things like they were. by the ones that are now gonna go through some bullshit for the next 20 to 30 years. Because they got dismissed. They broke everybody's contract. The contract in the ethers everywhere and below. Shit, that was Satan's contract too. They broke. Okay. Facts. Yes. Masculine energy. Yeah, they knew what type it was. I promise you. These were people who were in power. They were supposed to be logical and confident and assertive and protective. Okay. Instead, they wound up being controlling and aggressive. Mhm. And egotistical. Mhm. Causing people to question their self-worth. That was not part of the contract. They were supposed to play the game fair, but instead they hired mobsters, gangsters, and hustlers could do their dirty deed and bidding, and then tried to cut them out of their profits. They was backstabbing everybody all the way around. Okay, family. So that's the message I have for y'all this evening. Hopefully it resonates. Okay, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for being a part of the family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am grateful for each and every one of you. To the newly subscribed family members, welcome. To all being 1111 Energy Soul Tribe family. And to my day ones who are my A1s, and to the Soul Tribe family as a whole, you already know what time it is. I love you, and the divine loves you. Okay, let's close out. At this time, divine, I ask that you continue. And I'm speaking to the divine within us, the God within us, all around us. Okay, the divine creator of all living things. I ask that you continue to keep us with love, harmony, tranquility, prosperity, peace, protection, and respect, and good health and good wealth. Ashe, and thank you. And until next time, you know what I love to say. Namaste.